snake and centipede deathmatch to crocodiles taking on elephants. Here are 11 weird animal attacks.
Damn, nature, you scary.
Number 11. Residents of a Florida suburb have been treated to a strange spectacle. Two huge black bears attacking each other on a front lawn. In images captured from video, the animals appear to be fighting on the ground, then standing up to confront each other. Witnesses say the two animals roll and wrestle about the shrubs and bushes for around 2 minutes, then stop and head in separate directions. Residents seem unfazed that the bears might pose a danger to them, saying that the animals are just viewed as part of the scenery. Number 10. Now this story involves a snake attack, but it doesn't play out quite the way you might expect. The attack happened in Queensland when a snake fell out of the sky and slammed into a car's windscreen. The incident was caught by the vehicle's dash cam. It turned out that a hawk had the reptile in its talons as it swooped down from above. As it neared the vehicle, the bird suddenly released the snake where it hit the windscreen. The bird flew off, leaving the driver and passengers shocked but unharmed. Experts aren't sure if the hawk was actually aiming at the car or if the action was taken to better kill its prey. Number 9. Now this is one of the weirdest animal attacks we found. A case where the critter is kind of attacking itself. A two-headed cobra was born in southern China, and both heads have their own brain, meaning they can move independently, often in different directions. It was found by a snake breeder on his farm. He says the mutant has stayed alive for 10 days despite not eating and drinking. In addition to the two heads moving independently, the two heads have been reported to attack each other, with one attempting to swallow the other. The condition of having two heads is called polycephaly and is not uncommon in snakes. Number 8. Spider wasps are fearsome creatures known to deliver a sting that's said to feel like an electric shock. They're also known to capture and paralyze spiders to use as food for the larvae. Such a display was captured on video that was uploaded to YouTube. A spider wasp was seen dragging a much larger huntsman spider around a kitchen in what is thought to be Australia. In images from the video, you can see the insect dragging the arachnid along the floor and up a tiled wall. At one point, one of the observers even tries to measure the insect. Now we couldn't get this creature's exact dimensions, but spider wasps can usually reach sizes of around an inch, although some can exceed 2 inches in length. Number 7. An anaconda in Brazil was hungry enough to eat an entire cow, then discovered it bit off more than it could chew. Footage of the gruesome incident from the Brazilian jungle surfaced online. The giant snake was seen to regurgitate the entire body of a heifer into the water, although some have argued the creature being spewed up is actually a capybara, a rodent that can weigh nearly 150 pounds and is often the preferred meal of the big reptiles. They're also known to prey on tapir and deer and will constrict the prey before eating them. It took the snake about 90 seconds to bring up the bovine. It then swam away, obviously relieved of its great load. Anacondas are known to quickly regurgitate the food if they feel threatened, so they can move faster. However, we don't know if that was the case here. Number 6. Vampire bats really do feed on blood, but they normally get that food source from wild birds. Recently, though, experts have discovered that the animals may have developed a taste for human blood. A study conducted recently in Brazil was intended to find out how vampire bats would react in a situation where birds were in scarce supply. A colony of hairy-legged vampire bats living in Brazil's Catimbau National Park were chosen as test subjects. The research team analyzed 70 fecal samples taken from those animals, and it turned out that 3 of those samples contained human blood. Now, that surprised the scientists. While bats are mammals, this species is not adapted to feed on mammalian blood. Its high protein content makes it more difficult for bats to process. In prior experiments, vampire bats have been known to starve to death rather than drink the blood of pigs or goats, for example. Experts think deforestation and hunting could be eliminating the bat's natural prey, such as guans and tinamous, in the park. The change in the vampire bat's feeding habits is a concern for Brazil, since the creatures are known to carry diseases like rabies. Number 5. A snake handler in Queensland got a call he may wish he never answered. Andrew Smedley was called to remove a serpent from a house, and it turned out to be a massive python. While pythons are not venomous, they can still inflict a lot of damage with the bite, a point made all too clear to Mr Smedley. While attempting to maneuver the reptile to a greenhouse, a battle between man and reptile ensued, during which the man was struck some 10 times before finally subduing the snake. As you can see from Mr Smedley's pictures, it was a hard-fought victory, and a bloody one. The python delivered deep lacerations to the snake handler's arms. After publishing pictures related to the struggle online, Mr Smedley's pride may have been injured too. Several commentators took exception with how he handled the serpentine situation. Number 4. A photographer took pictures of an epic standoff between a leopard and a warthog at Kenya's Masai Mara National Park. Peter Thompson was only 20 feet away as the two animals squared off. The pregnant leopard had been stalking the warthog before the prey turned around to confront the big cat. Mr. Thompson's effort provides some amazing scenes from the encounter. At some points, the pregnant leopard seems to be flying in the air with her limbs outstretched like wings. She's actually a well-known animal at the park named Bahati, which is Swahili for lucky. However, the warthog was anything but lucky that day. After toying with the prey, the leopard made a final leap and pounced on the beast to finish him off. Mr. Thompson said the tense standoff lasted about 2 minutes and took place in complete silence. Number 3. When you think of squirrels, the image of a bloodthirsty beast does not necessarily spring to mind, but the little critters can be aggressive if the situation demands it. This picture shows a squirrel that appears to be facing off with a golden snake, possibly a cobra. At least, that's what we think. While we could not authenticate this particular picture, we can tell you about an encounter between a squirrel and a snake that was documented. An African squirrel attacked a snake and ended up eating it. While the little rodents are usually content with eating nuts and seeds, they can turn carnivorous, even eating smaller rodents. In this case, the squirrel was ravenous enough to go after a young snake. The two creatures hissed and bit at one another as the battle went back and forth. The squirrel managed to bite enough chunks of the snake's flesh that it was left bloodied. The reptile tried a last-ditch effort to coil about the rodent and suffocate it, but the squirrel struggled free and went on to consume the still-living reptile. Number 2. At a game reserve in South Africa, a crocodile seemed to develop a taste for elephant. The 16-foot reptile, nicknamed Jaws, was lurking below the surface of a river as a herd of 11 elephants stopped there to drink. As one adult pachyderm dipped its trunk into the water, the croc suddenly clamped a hold of it. But a fellow pachyderm came to the rescue and charged that big reptile, forcing it to loosen its hold. The encounter lasted only about 20 seconds. While known as deadly predators, crocodiles are not usually known to take on adult elephants. In this case, the beast stood about 8 feet tall and was estimated at around 10 times the size of the croc. Experts say that crocodiles have been known to attack smaller elephants, so chances are it didn't know it was attacking an adult animal. Number 1. Would you rather bet on 2 fangs or 100 legs? That's a reference to a bizarre incident in Macedonia involving a snake and a centipede. A female viper was discovered with a centipede that had burst its way out of a stomach. The animals were both found dead on Golem Grad, which is also known as Snake Island. Researchers think the 20-centimeter reptile likely underestimated the size of the insect and paid dearly for that mistake. The fully grown insect was 15 centimeters long, almost the size of the juvenile snake, but was still thought to have been swallowed whole and alive. The centipede, known as a fierce predator, proved to be the viper's last meal.
Damn, nature, you scary.